Hey guys, this is Akshay and welcome back to another episode of the Akshay GP Show. And we have a very special guest with me here today, Aditya Bhardwaj. Even though we talked very less, but have this like Loki had this mutual respect for him because he used to. I know that this guy was working very hard for something, and obviously he got placed at JP Morgan and all that thing. So this entire episode is all about coding, programming, and all the placement preparation that you go through if you're in second year or first year or you're planning or in any of the stage of your life you were thinking to start coding and you want to crack good companies or whatever that is, so he will share his experiences and all that stuff. Hello Aditya, how are you?
Hi Akshay, I'm fine. How are you?
Doing great. So uh, Aditya Bhardwaj is has graduated from electrical engineering at Danand Sagar College. From there he got an opportunity to for this hackathon called Code for Good. There he got selected to the 6 months internship at JP Morgan. Then right now he's a full stack developer. Okay, Aditya. So how's life at JP Morgan? How's everything going on?
Yeah, to be honest, it's great. The culture there is great. The compensation they give is great. So
Okay,
everything from my side is like it's a dream come true thing. So it's
great. Before diving into these questions, like everything about technical side, coding, placements, and all that thing, one thing I really want to ask is by telling this bit story about my regret of the placements that I had to go through is that when you graduate from that engineering, when I attended my farewell, when I was going outside from the department, there were this things that coming into my mind, and was all those things were like the good lessons that I've learned from this entire 4 years. Okay, and in these 4 years, there are a lot of stuff that I went through, this sine wave of emotions that you go through. Sometimes it's just too good, sometimes you just feel low. And one of this regret for me was that not preparing well for the placements. And I've seen people in my department also, um, they had this, the goal कि मेरे को coding करना है, and they started from the first year as well. And but for me it was very different. I was like lost in my own world. So when placement started, and I never got this opportunity to sit for any companies because I had backlogs to clear, and this regret kind of started to kill me again and again and again. And if I got this opportunity to live back my engineering life, I think I will go back to the first year, the Akshay, and then start this entire process of ki I should start focusing on my career and all that stuff. So how did you manage this? Because I've seen people who are my friends also. One of my friends, she got placed at JP Morgan. One of my other friends, he got placed at Texas. These guys were like, they were like much focused. They were like sure कि मेरे को यही करना है, and this is what I want to do. And how was it for you? How did it motivation when it started? Because to start that preparation, I think from scratch we need that, because if you see something like Bangalore, it's such a attractive place. It's a huge place. कदम कदम पे you feel that attraction कि नहीं हमको पढ़ाई नहीं करना है, ये जाना ये करना है. But you were very different. You used to be very focused. Used to be like academics is something that you were very focused upon. So how did it started?
yeah. Answering that question is like when I started my journey, it was not in college. Actually, it was at school. Like in our 9th, 10th, we had this Java thing as a subject. So the thing was, I used to love computer like anything. I wanted to do something in that. I used to score good, and I used to feel like I'm doing such a great thing. Those automation processes, those everything which was doing at the back end, those memory thing, what is RAM, what is ROM, they used to attract me since I was a kid. Like obviously not kid, but like 7, 8 years, seventh class or eighth class. So it was like uh, from that time only I used to like be that I have to do something in computers only. It's not like uh, it came after I came to college. It was like prior to that. So yeah, it started there, and once I came, like once I joined the college, our college Dayanand Sagar, I was like. um the one other thing which motivated me a lot was looking at the opportunities this field has, looking at the exposure this field has, the growth this field has. It was like uh, mesmerizing for me. So I was like, I have to do something because I love this also, and it has great opportunities also. So I was like, yeah, I should continue this. So that was the main driving force behind my preparation. And to be honest, personally, I'm like a very focused guy. Like, as you said, it's not like a bragging thing or what, but I'm like, I don't want to waste time doing other things, other stuff, like, which is totally fine if you can manage time. But like, from my personal experience, I'm not one of those guys who can do multitasking at once. If you are focused on this and that, I can't do both the things. If I'm focused at one thing, I'll be focused at that one thing only. I can't be like, I'll go and party and then I'll study. I'm not those kind of guys. So what I feel is you need to know yourself first, like, how you are, what kind of a person you are. If you can, I have seen people who manage both the things very well. So if you're that kind of people, then maybe you can manage both the things. But if you're a kind of people like I am, then you need to actually start letting things go. Okay. So, and maybe it's not like you can't do things, but you have to like manage your time. It's not like you can just play. So that was one thing which I felt I did right in my college, was like the first thing which anyone should do is, I feel like they should know themselves, what kind of person they are. Like the thing which you are doing right now. Even though you said that you didn't go for your placements and all, well, you didn't like prepare well. But what I feel is it takes courage what you're doing, to be honest.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, no, it's actually because you know that you are not into this. You just said before the podcast, right? Podcast, that you knew that, yeah, if I have to do something in corporate only, then I need to know that I know that I am not for that software engineering field. You know that you are meant for something else. That's the thing which I'm talking about. That's like you need to know yourself. That's maybe one thing.
Great, great. Um, Moving on to the second question. This is something always mesmerized me because people who get, crack more than 15 LPI packages or something like that, I always feel like they are from the CS background or something like that. But you're from my same department, that is electrical engineering, and I personally feel like electrical engineering is very difficult compared to other departments. Uh, in this, like when I feel like you get stuck a lot here and you don't get the time to study another completely different subject. So what was your like motive कि नहीं मैं electrical यहाँ पे आया हूँ, but still as you said you were interested in computers, right? But still, how did you manage this and there like you got this less opportunities even in the placement section that you're from the not the computer science background?
Yeah. Mm, Actually, answering that question, that I got less opportunities is, yeah, true. I got less opportunities compared to any CS or IT guy, but that did because I knew that once I joined the college, I knew that I won't get like all the placement, all the companies which are coming to our college, they won't allow us. Like not 100% companies will allow us. Maybe 90%, 85% will allow, but that didn't. What to say, that didn't downgrade, or that didn't discourage me from things, because what I felt is there are a lot of opportunities outside our college, and that's one of the most driving force, like that was the driving force for which I started preparing from first year only, because uh, what I felt is people, they they think of the college placement as the ultimate goal. They don't think that there are opportunities outside also. So if you want to crack opportunities, then you have to be like start preparing at day one itself, so that it's like you can grab opportunities as they come to you. It's not like once you will apply, then only. Maybe there are times when you unexpectedly you will get some opportunity, right? So it's like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, coming back to the question where I am from an electrical background, yeah, that was a tough thing to manage because as we all know that triple E is like something you don't want to join. So, I mean, yeah, jokes apart, but how did I manage is something I made myself a kind of a schedule, like which I followed. Like I wanted to like preparing just for the college because I was sure that I don't want to prepare for electrical. I just want to good get good grades in my college along my college, and yeah, that's done. So I was like, I'm sure that I don't have to prepare so in depth. So I started preparing maybe 1 week prior to the exams or 1.5 week prior to the exams. That was all I did. I used to pay attention to the class at the starting. Then, like any other college student, I didn't go to college only. So, but yeah, so that was one of the key strategies which I followed is the schedule. You need to have a schedule when you want to um, prepare for one thing and when you want to prepare. Like if you are in a situation like me, then you have to have a schedule that, yeah, that I need to give like maybe 4 hours, 5 hours to coding only, and maybe 2, 3 hours to electrical. But like it is a difficult thing to follow, to be honest, because you are a college student. But yeah, you have to do that if you want to manage both the things, and you need to like utilize each and every moment. Like whenever you are free or whenever you have some time, you need to prioritize a thing which you will do in that free time. Like you need to know that I'll maybe go through all the notes which I have made from coding. Like you need to have a like I what I used to do is I used to have a notebook where I used to write all my like questions or whatever I have noted. And whenever there was free time in class, or maybe I used to like little bit go through all those things, which whenever there was nothing to do for me, like whenever there was a free period or not a free period we used to like bunk only. But the thing is like whenever there was a boring class or something, I used to just go through all the notes and like I used to go through each and everything so that they are at the back of my mind and I am utilized. So maybe like this, you can utilize your time and maybe you can also like cope up with electrical engineering and yeah,
But still you were
preparations.
very consistent कि हाँ हर दिन coding at least I'll touch it kind of.
That's one thing which I felt is at least I should touch it.
Hmm.
It's not like, as you said, I at least I should touch it and not like, it's not like I have to do a lot of things. I have to do 4 hours,
But more
five
like
hours,
a
but
build a
at least,
habit कि
correct. I have to build a habit and I have to be like, at least I should solve one question on late code or at least something like that. But I have to do something so that I'm not losing touch with anything. Yeah.
great. So, which language did you start with? Because this is many people get confused. It's like they start with Java. Some people directly start with Python, and they kind of realize, you know, I should have bit knowledge about OOPS language and all that. You know.
Yeah.
So, which
Hmm.
language did you start, and how did you
Yeah.
study DSA and all that?
This I made a blunder. So
Okay.
like any other people, I like in as told you that in during our school days we had Java. So I was familiar with Java. But in 11th, 12th, I was in a CBSE school and we had C++. So I was familiar with C++ too. So I was like, which language should I start? And then I used to feel more comfortable with Java. So I started with Java as it was my comfort zone. It was not like something which I made a very rational decision by like doing some background research or something. I just went like it was just a thing that I wanted to be in my comfort zone. So I started Java, but later I did realize that it was not. I mean, it actually depends on you. Both languages are good only. You can start with anything. But what I felt was Java is a little bit. I mean, you have to have like it's a little bit difficult when it comes to data structures and algorithms. So, like, there are more resources available for C++ compared to Java, and you get, I mean, it's a little bit easier if you choose C++ compared to Java. But yeah, if you are like, but in the when you once you get into the um engineering, like the professional field, you will get to know that Java is the soul of that. You have to like you so yeah, that is one of the things which I felt is you can choose both the languages. It's not like you have to choose one or you have to choose other. Actually, you can try both or choose whatever you feel like. If you're comfortable with something, just go with that. It's not like it would not be beneficial. You can do anything with any language. It's not like you have to choose this to do competitive programming. Although C++ is preferred language for competitive programming if you are going for competitive programming. But if you are going for full stack development or anything, Java is the preferred language. So it's like, but you should at least, what I feel is if you are going with one language, you should be proficient with it. You shouldn't leave it in behind and then stick, like, be a little confident about your choices and like we have build that proficiency in that language. That would be beneficial. So that's what I did. I chose Java only and I continued with it, although I realized that it was a little bit difficult. But yeah, I continued with it and maybe not, it was not such a bad decision.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great. What do you think about something like Java in hackathons? Because I feel like I've heard a lot. I don't know. I've heard a lot that C++ is way faster than Java, and if it's like a competitive coding, like something like hackathons, what was your experience in coding in Java?
Yeah. If, uh, if you are into a competitive uh, like a competitive programming thing, like there's a thing where you have to solve questions. That is the competitive programming. Like there are contests held at like Code Forces or Lead Code or any ICP, the ICPC, whatever you are, like there are contests held. So if you are into these, then yeah, actually C++ is a little bit faster when you where you are like concerned about the points, where you are concerned about your rank and everything, where you are concerned about your uh, submissions. So it's like there you like C++ would give you a little bit benefit, but that's solely for that. But when you come to a hackathon is something like where you have to build stuff from what you know. It's not like you have a time constraint or you have a submission constraint or you have like a right or wrong thing. You just have to build something from what you know. So hackathon, it's not like only Java or C++. You can have any coding language at your arsenal and it would be great for you because I knew Node.js, I knew web development, and I also knew somewhat shell scripting and Python. So it was like really beneficial for me when you come to a hackathon because you need to have you will have a team, okay, and the team will have diverse skill sets. Then decide and you will decide on one thing which you will build and what tech stack which you will use, okay. So it's like that only. So you need to have a little bit whatever language you have at your arsenal, it would be beneficial for you when it comes to hackathon. And in coding like competitive programming, Java is not that slow. Like it's slower than C++, agreed, but it's not as slow as Python. So if you are going with Java, you're good to go. And if you have such um, targets, like you have to go for the regionalist or the nationals of ICPC, then I think I'm not the right person because I never qualified for that. Although I tried, but I didn't. So maybe then you can, maybe, I don't know, you can ask some expert, but what from my experiences, you should go with C++ because it gives you that edge where it's like a little bit faster.
Got it. Uh, this question is I'm going to ask is I feel like this is very important for the people who are starting the placement preparation is learning DSA, because I feel like data structure algorithms is something in any companies or all the Mang companies and all that thing. All those rounds are DSA rounds, right? And but starting the DSA is very that's when you're learning code and when you're learning to code and all that stuff. But when you start to learned DSA, it's very difficult to where to start. What are the resources that you should be looking upon, and how did you start it?
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, actually, DSA is one of those things which, like as you said, every company is asking, and it's the building block. What I feel is the building block of your logic, at least not computer science, but at least your logic. So I started DSA as I told you. My uh, language was Java only, so I started DSA around that only. So I followed a few YouTube channels like Kunal Kushwaha, and then and what I used to do is once you like, for example, you have covered arrays as a topic. You know the syntax and everything of arrays, like what are the different algorithms, like sorting algorithm, searching algorithm, something like that. Then once you have covered that, what I used to do, I used to go back to the lead code. Okay, whatever you can choose, lead code or GFG, anything. But I used to do it in lead code. What I used to do is I used to like get, for example, I have studied about bubble sort because most of them would be knowing bubble sort. That's why referring this example. So you have studied bubble sort. Then what I used to do, I used to search it as a filter in lead code, and all the questions related to bubble sort would come. So what I used to do, I used to solve them like from first I used to solve all the easy problems, then I used to solve all the medium problems, and likewise. So this actually helped me in building my like the logic behind each and everything, and like this was the key consistency which helped me in like getting my DSA concepts very right. So these were one of the things which I followed while. So the key funda was learn things and then try to implement it. Not like more. What I have seen is most people what they do is they just learn. They keep learning and learning and forgetting and learning and then forgetting, and they never practice those things. They don't try to implement these in their like somewhere. So that's one of the things. Once you start implementing what you have learned, then maybe you won't. Then you'll have some basic like that what you call a muscle memory. Then
Huh.
you'll get into that, and then it would be beneficial for you. So this was my whole strategy which I followed during DSA. And then there was a step ahead also. Like in my second year, I heard this term which is known as competitive programming, and I was very intrigued by that thing. So what I did is I Googled about it, and then I came to know, yeah, there are some of the sites which actually offer you like contests and all you can take part. And then I used to do code forces. Came to know about code forces. Then I started my code forces journey, and it is actually very different from what you call it. Like if you compare it, DSA is the basics, but uh, competitive programming is like the implementation. As I told you, you have to you have to know things, you have to know like how to implement things. It's not like you will get only bubble sort questions. You have to have like you need to know how to like imagine these are tools. Like you have to imagine these as tools at your arsenal, like the different algorithms. If you know graphs, if you know trees, and these are some of the topics which they ask. So you need to have these, and you need to know how to combine these and use it at a question. So these were one of the things I started with, and then actually I did pretty decent in code forces. There is some ranking thing, there is some rating thing which they follow, and you will be known by your rating at your college. If you are into that coding club, you will be like, oh ये 1600 वाला है, this guy is 1700 rated at Cofos or something like that, or CodeChef also, anything. So it was like that only, but then I never felt that thing with competitive programming. I did pretty decent, but then I like just quit. I uh, I quit it in like end at the end of the second year, and then maybe I started with my development journey only. So yeah, so that was the total thing, which how I prepared for my DSA and how I prepared for the CP and everything. So yeah, that was.
Okay. So did you faced these consistency issues that many people find it very overwhelming at starting, you know?
Mm. We actually felt that I at the like the what they say na, at the start it is a rising cliff, then it's a flat road. So yeah, I felt that rising cliff. So it was very difficult at the start because you will be like, I knew this topic, I knew, but then the logic isn't coming to me. It won't come. Obviously, it won't come at the start because you are at the starting. That
Hmm.
that is how it's supposed to be. It's not like you once you have learned a thing, you know all the right things about like the basics and all, you will come to know, ah, this is the thing, or this is how it is done. You have to give time to that. You need to practice things. So yeah, I faced that, but uh, I did give up also. Like maybe for 1 month, I was like, I don't want to do this stuff. I and this was one of my thing that once I face some difficult thing, I will switch back to a easier thing, and then I'll start doing that easier thing, and then after some time, I'll realize no, this is also difficult. Then I'll switch back to this. So yeah, I used to face this at that time. I used to switch things. I used to do DSA, then development, then DSA, then development because I would feel the latter easier. But eventually, I came to know that this won't work. Like, if you know, like, it won't like take you anything like to a certain point, to your milestone. You have to like build that proficiency in that particular thing, then switch to the other thing. So that's what I did, and I started at least. It was difficult at the starting, but later it became easy. Like as you spend your time with that thing na, it will become easier and easier and easier, and then eventually you will be like, yeah, this is not that hard. So yeah, that's
Great,
the
great, man. Uh, when it comes to your role, which is full stack developer, many people get confused with this. Like some people want to choose become a front end web developer. Some people like to be a back end because, and some people find back end very difficult also. And why did you choose to become full stack developer? And what exactly does this mean, full stack developing, web developer?
so like the front end developer is someone who like builds those CSS or like the thing which you see on the screen as a customer. When you like open a website, you see these
Hmm.
buttons, these carousels, these nav bars, and everything. That's something which a front end developer builds. A back end developer is someone who writes the APIs. When you click on that button, then what is the API call happening at the end?
Hmm.
So uh, the backend logic, the database, and everything is done by the backend developer. And coming to full stack developer is someone who does both the things. He knows like he knows the front end also, he knows the back end also, and he'll be the one like it won't be one person will be building the front end, one person will be building the back end. It will be like you will be doing both the things. You will build your back end, and on top you'll build your front end also. So that is something which is a full stack developer. So, and coming to the question why I chose it, because first of all, it's something which gives you a lot of exposure as a developer. You are not restricted by a certain thing which you have to do. You will be like, I can do this thing also, I can do this thing also. And you have like, you will get a lot of exposure, you will learn a lot of new technologies. And it was something, so this was the sole reason why I chose full stack developer because what I felt is if I choose the full stack developer, I'll be like more exposed. I'll be like, I'll have more exposure. I'll be more like there's something more to a full stack developer compared to a back. So that's why I chose full stack development. Although back end development and front end development are great, without those guys, we won't be there. But yeah, that's the thing why I chose full stack developer.
Uh, I really want to ask is that, first of all, congratulations on cracking JP Morgan. I'm sure you're enjoying everything out there. And many people would be interested to know this entire selection process of JP Morgan. So, how did it start? And what was the rounds, the technical round, the HR round, the entire interview process? Because it's considered to be very competitive. since it's a very one of the prestigious companies. So how was your experiences, and people who like who are starting out to face these big companies, what is your suggestion?
Yeah. uh, So JP Morgan visited our campus. First of all, JP Morgan is a financial bank. Um, so just so it visited our campus around March or April when we were in our third year. So the whole procedure was something like there will be the once you register, there will be something known as a resume shortlisting. Uh, they'll shortlist based on your resumes, and then you will receive a link. There will be a coding round, like pretty not a, it was pretty basic coding round. It was not something like very hard or hard level, because it will be something between lead code easy and medium level questions. So it was something like that, and you have to solve two questions in that coding round. It was an online OA, online assessment round, and once you are done with that, I solved both the questions. And once you're done with that, you'll get a link for something known as a higher view process. Higher view is like an online tool where you will have some HR questions, and that will be a recorded thing. Those questions will be recorded, and you have to record the answers and send it to the portal. So that was one of those rounds. And once you're done with that, they will give you a link for a hackathon. And it was a 24 hours to 32 hours hackathon, like something in between. And you need, and in that hackathon, they will provide you with some problem statements. First of all, they will group you with random people from random colleges, like so that you are not in your comfort zone. You don't know these people, because they actually highly monitor your team building skills and communication skills. So these are one of the things which they do. They group you in a team of like our team was like 8 people, as I remember, and all were from different colleges. So that you have that team building, you know how to build a team, and how to coordinate with random people. So that was first thing. And then once you have registered for the hackathon, on the day of hackathon, there will be around 10 to 12 NGOs coming, and they will be coming with their own problems. Like someone has chatting with someone wants a chatting bot or a chatting website. Someone wants a AIML logic, and someone wants a web server. Someone wants a website at their disposal. So they will be coming with their own things, and you have to like select the thing which you are comfortable. Like our team was comfortable with web development and machine learning, so we selected a particular question. Then you need to start building. Like in that, for that problem only, 10 teams will be competing at once. So you need to like know your thing. You need to build stuff. You need to tackle that problem. Give your own personal insights to the problem. Ask questions, and in between there will be an interview also. Like they'll ask pretty basic questions, but they'll ask. So it was more or less. And then at the end of the day, the best thing is, even if you don't win the hackathon in JP Morgan, you have chance of getting selected. So that was one of the things, because they actually mm, like notice your own personality rather than your like the winning thing. They like notice how you are performing at your team. And one of the other things is, even though you have won the hackathon, like in a team, if a team has won the hackathon and there are 10 people, there's no guarantee that all 10 will be selected for the job role. So it was something which I actually looked up upon, that they are not just thinking about the winning thing, but they are also focusing on individual performances and how you are performing and how you are as a person. So yeah, that was the thing. That was
Great.
the whole journey. Then like after maybe 2 months, 2.5 months, we got to know that yeah, we are selected for the role.
Oh, so you have to wait for 2 months after the.
Post the hackathon, you have to wait around 2 months, 1.5 months to 2 months
Okay.
for the
And
results
will
to.
people who are not selected, will they get this letter that they're not selected?
No, they won't. They will just ghost them. But you will get
Okay.
a letter of all the people who are selected. There will be a
Okay.
list or something sent to your TPO. But
Hmm. Great. Uh, how is your entire life at JP Morgan? I really want to ask you that.
at JP Morgan, everything is actually good. The culture, the work environment, the work-life balance, everything is like quite good, to be honest. And the way they handle things, and the first of all, the sole driving factor for most of us is the compensation. The compensation is good. The benefits are good. The culture is good. The work-life balance is good. More or less, you would want to have like I actually insist people to like at least for once in their lifetime they should work for JP Morgan so that like they'll come to know how it feels to be in a company which actually cares about their
Employees.
employees. Yeah, correct. So it is good.
Great. So, people have this doubt, like uh, once you go into this corporate side, there is this lot of work pressure, and how, like especially big companies, something like JP Morgan. So what's your daily routine and like this balance of career? How do you manage this? And how was your experience till now? Since I mean you have just finished the internship, just joined full time. Did you felt that thing of like many people just leave the corporate after this and I don't want to jana nahi hai, bahut this is not my cup of tea kind of. So did you ever felt that thing?
So for coming to my routine, it's something like I start at around because I wake up around like my journey for office starts around 10.
Okay.
I'll be like at 10 our shuttle arrives at a nodal point and then by 11 we are at office. So we start working around 11 and then we continue to work around in between there are obviously lunch breaks and like tea breaks and all with our team, but yeah, we continue to work around 7:30 or 8. So that's the daily routine which we follow. And coming back to the question that uh, did I ever feel overwhelmed or like I don't want to work? It actually depends on your own perspective because if you are interested in what you do, then I don't feel like you would ever feel like I don't want to work for this now because it's something which you are interested in. Unless and
Okay.
until you're burned out, you won't feel that. You will
Hmm.
be like, yeah, this is such a great thing to do, and I'm doing a great thing, and this is what I'm interested in. So, and once you are burned out, we like there are times where I'm burned out. I feel like I can't do this anymore. So what I do is I take a little break. Like I take a leave, sick leave or vacation leave for 1 or 2 days. I chill at my home or go somewhere. Um, I'm not a guy who travels a lot, so I stay at my home only. So yeah, and after that, it's everything is fine. You feel like yeah, I can again resume my work. So that's something which truly depends on yourself. But and if you are not feeling interested at your job, then maybe it's time to start looking for something else, some other job role, or some other different career only. Maybe it's up to you, but maybe you should start looking at your like, what you are doing right now. If it doesn't please you, then it's time to maybe switch things.
Okay. Great. Uh, Last and probably the most important questions of this entire interview or the podcast is that your interesting projects that you've come across, and even though when solving these projects, what do you think that the skills that require, and people who are starting out, what are the things that they should focus upon so that after when you join a company, when you're working on a real life project, uh, these skills will help you as a programmer, as a coder or something like
So for me, the important skills which I feel like people should have is patience and like they should be patient about the things which they do, and the second thing, they should be curious and like to learn new things. They shouldn't be like, "Yeah, I know everything" or something. Nobody, first of all, nobody knows everything. There's not a
True.
single person, whatever field you are, whatever position you are, nobody knows everything. There are people who know a lot than you. There are people who know less than you, but you are like it can't be like you know everything. And this is something which actually I want to convey to people is because this is a platform where I can convey is never feel that you know more than your seniors in a corporate world. Because as a intern, I have seen people who are arrogant enough to know to think that they know more than their seniors or people, but you don't. They have those experience which you don't have, and
Exactly.
experience is something which you can't just make up with your coding skills. So that's one thing. And mm, coming to the question that how people like how what I projects I did during my colleges, I did actually I started with pretty basic projects on web development because that time that was the only thing which I knew. So something like a weather forecasting app, and then maybe a blogging website, or then something like that, and something which went down. So yeah, obviously you need to have if you are building something like that, you need to know what is web development and everything related to it. Apart from that, I also then post that I started learning AI/ML stuffs. Then uh, I was working on this project, like the basic algorithm that where you can design. Like right now, I'm working on that. Is that you can like, come to know you can give your medical mm, like the stuffs which you know, and then like the reports and all medical reports, and then it will give you an accurate result if you can have tuberculosis or you can have uh, thyroid or there are a few things which it can predict. So it is something which I'm working on, and projects are one of the most important things which, as a student, you need to do because that's the only platform, like that's the only platform where you can showcase that you have done something that indeed like speaks about your coding skills and also about your like thinking and also about your like the perseverance which you have consistently built something which you can show to the interviewers or you can show to people who are like interested in giving you jobs. So there's something, it's kind of a portfolio for you where you will be like, you know, I have built this thing, you can check this out, I have worked on this, you can check this out. And so it's a must thing a student should have, and they should select projects not according to their comfort zone, but according to like what the market demands, like what is currently in demand, which tech stacks are currently in demand. They should actually select those things, and they should like try to do a lot of projects in those things. If you are starting to learn new things, a new tech stack, then you need to build at least a couple of projects in that particular tech stack so that you come to know that yeah, I can implement things. It's not like, as I told you, it's not like you just are learning a stuff and then you are like done with it. You need to implement things somewhere, and projects are the best field where you can implement your like knowledge. So it's a must thing to have.
Great. Great. Okay. Those were all the questions, and this is like a little rapid fire round where
Hmm.
you just have to answer like in one word fastly. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
your favorite language, coding language.
Python.
Sorry,
Python.
Python. Okay. A favorite code editor.
VS Code.
Yes, good. Okay. Best programming book you've ever read.
Programming book. There's a book for like discrete mathematics which I read. It's actually very good by TMH. So maybe you can go through that.
Okay. Coffee or tea to fuel your coding.
T.
Tea. Okay, great. So, okay, Mac, Windows, or Linux for development.
Mac.
Mac, great. Great, great, Aditya. That was one of the best conversations that I've had, because career-based conversations is something which I feel like I enjoy having with, because this is my phase also where I'm learning new things. Even I'm trying to look out for a lot of stuff. So I'm sure this will help a lot of people. So thank you so much for taking out your time, answering all the questions, and wish you all the best for, good luck for all the future endeavors that you go through.
Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you.
Thank you.
The
Hope you
best.
guys enjoyed this episode. You can comment in the comment section for any questions or doubts you have, for more and more conversations, or any related to these career based conversations. Tell me the topics that you want me to go through. Thank you so much. Cut मत करना, because this will get